Okay, guys, sometimes you have to compare, make a comparison quickly between two multiplication in GRE test and other standard tests too, like ACT. They ask you to quickly compare two multiplications. When an example, you add alternatively the same number and subtract the same number to each term, like this one. Ladies, please, I'm doing something. Silence. So here you got 23 times 484, and then you have to make a comparison. Which one is greater, or this one is greater or less between 24, 483. Like you can see here, we just add 1 and subtract 1 in each term. How to quickly, without do the multiplication to make this comparison. We have a quick tips. So we're gonna make a generalization, whatever the case. Every time you got a multiplication where you add one number and you subtract the same number to the other term, what's gonna happen? It is gonna be greater or less. So remember, we're gonna make a generalization. So we got an example, a times b. So we're gonna compare a plus n times b minus n. So remember, n is a natural number. So we're gonna try to make the comparison. Let's do that quickly. We're gonna work on this one, this part at the right side. So this is gonna give me a times, this is a plus n, right? Times b, right? And then this is gonna give me like, let's say, minus n times a plus n. Okay, I try to. So that's give me a times b. Okay, this is a times b plus nb minus na minus n squared. Okay, here's what we got. So this part is a times b. Okay, so the difference gonna be this part. So we're gonna try to understand this part. So if this equals 0, okay, which means if n times b minus n times a minus n squared equals 0, so they're gonna be equals. In this case, if only n equals 0, okay? So let's try to work on this. Let's say if I can write this differently, like n times b minus a, n times b minus a minus n squared. So let's understand, if this part is equal to n squared, we got 0. But is this part, I'm talking about this part, if n times b minus a, okay, if n times b minus a, it's greater than n squared, what's gonna happen? This gonna be positive, and if this positive, this gonna be greater than a times b. You understand what I mean? Because the real difference is gonna be this one. If I got a positive number here, whatever the positive number, even if it's plus 1, still this product gonna give one more than the other product. So I'm trying to understand in what situation these can be positive. So in this case, if I have this part only put greater than n squared, these subtractions gonna be a positive number. That's why I say if n times b minus a greater than n squared, I'm gonna get a positive number here. As long as I have a positive number here, so I can say this product is greater than this one. So in this case, I can make another amplification. Since I know n is a natural number, I can divide both number by n. I can say also when b minus a, when b minus a is greater than n. That's the generalizations. So keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. If b minus A is greater than N. Okay? If B minus A is greater than N, in this case, you're gonna have like A plus N, right? A plus N time B minus N. In this case, this product gonna be greater than A time B. Okay? That generalizations. So, which means in this situation we have B equal 484 minus 23. Okay, I don't need to make these subtractions. I know this is gonna be greater than 1. Since in this case N is 1. Okay, in this case 1. I just add 1 here. So N is 1. So when I have to, in other words, 484, which is B, 484 minus 23, which is A, is greater than 1. Okay, in this case, I say the product, this multiplication is greater than, but if this was less than N, I would say, if this was less than N, I would say the other part is greater. Okay, that's a generalization, whatever the case. So I hope you understand it. So let's say if you have, we can take any number. If you have 12 times 641, and you have to make a comparison between 13 plus, you plus 1 here, you plus 1 here, and you minus 1 here, 640, you can easily make the comparison. Okay, N is 1, but you can have N is 3, 4. Let's say if N was 2, it's going to be 12 plus 14 minus 2 here, gonna be, instead of 40, you're gonna have 39 here. Okay, so the same logic, you're gonna try to do the subtraction to see if it's greater than N. Okay, so that's a quick way, a tip, a quick strategy to make a comparison in two multiplications. Every time, in every situation, when you have to add the same number and subtract the same number to each term of the multiplications, you can quickly, figure out which one is greater, which one is, which one is less than. So in GRE tests and other standard tests like ACT, you have to quickly, make the comparison. So in this case, you don't have to quickly do it. The subtractions, you get it. Okay, I hope that this tip was helpful and you're gonna use it in your different standard tests.